Pokemon virus. Just think about it. Words leave you coughing, flow leave you wheezing, sneezing. That just proves I'm colder than a sneasel. Pass me a
Hello, Retro Bro here. Give you a Pokemon X and Y RU tier battle against my friend Sam. And our teams are pretty even for the most part, which means that careful plays are really going to be crucial in this battle. So let's see how this turns out. Especially since we both have Configurations. That's really going to make a crucial part in how we play out. At least since I don't really have decent coverage against it as of right now. So I started with Weezing here. And I predicted he was going to do Will-O-Wisp, so I switched to Exploud, hoping that he would burn me and I can go ahead and hit him with the Choice Specs Boom Burst. But he predicted the switch and went for the knockoff, which is going to hurt me really bad because I really needed my Choice Specs and now I don't have it. Boom Burst will still hit hard, but it won't OHKO as many things with a single shot now, and I really needed that power. So he goes into his Articuno, and it will catch the Boom Burst, and as you see, it's specially defensive, so it only took about 25, say 30% damage. So I'm going to go ahead and switch into Weezing because it has pressure, and luckily enough for me, he went for Toxic, so that works fine. So I went for a T-Bolt here, and it looks like he predicted it by going into Lantern, so he'll Volt Absorb that. Most Lanterns are specially defensive, so I'm going to test it to see if he is by Dark Pulsing, and sure enough, by the amount of damage I did, it shows that he is specially defensive. Though specially defensive though, Boom Burst hits extremely hard, so I'm going to go ahead and Boom Burst him with Exploud, and he shouldn't be able to take it too well, Choice Specs or not, just because of the high attack stat of the burst. So let's go ahead and do that. And this should kill. Oh, but no, it doesn't. It leaves him on 1 HP and he takes the Citrus Berry. At the same time, though, I will be able to kill it later, so I guess it's not that big of a deal. Unfortunately, though, now I only have 10 HP on my Exploud, and it's slow. I don't have Sticky Web support because, as you know, Shuffle has now gotten moved to BL, so you can only use him in UU tier and higher. So with 10 HP, the only thing I can do now is sack him off, unfortunately. And I needed at least a few more good shots to make sure I had a decent edge on this game. So now I'll have to think of another way to alternatively set up. So what I was thinking here was that a Sharpedo would switch, and he didn't. But since Sludge Bomb is Stab and my Weezing is modestly invested, it still hit really hard, which works out for me. I find it real amazing how strong Sharpedo is. I mean, my Weezing is a physical wall, and I took quite amount of damage. I mean, I took it really well and survived, but at the same time, Sharpedo hit a lot harder than I anticipated. So now he goes into Nala. I don't remember what the name of this Pokemon is, but I know it's a physical electrical attacker, and since he's running Intimidate, that's actually a real nice relief for me, because the get set to this thing is nasty. So it's really nice that he is not. Now, in this position, I know he's going to switch. He's probably predicting the Earthquake, so I'm assuming Articuno would come. And no, he didn't go into Articuno, which is real unfortunate because I had a Fire Fang waiting so I could try to catch it on the switch. But no, his idea was to go into Configurations, catch me with the Mummy to get rid of Rock Solid, and now he's probably going to want a Will-O-Wisp or Knockoff again. So I'm forced to switch because I really need Rhyperior for that electric thing. So at this point, the best thing I can do is sack off Exploud. And yep, he went for the Will-O-Wisp and landed it. So once the turn ends, the 12 HP from the Will-O-Wisp will kill my Exploud. Now the real dilemma here is deciding what to switch into. Because at this point, again, I really don't have any coverage for Exploud in this particular team. I mean, for Configurations in this particular team. So I'm going to go into my own Configurations because I do carry the Shadow Ball, and I am somewhat specially defensive with my physical defense, so I'm sure that will handle it. So he decided to go into his Lantern. So I went ahead and knocked off. He's gonna T-bolt me, but that's not a big deal considering, again, I told you, I do have some special defense. So I went ahead, ate that up, and got rid of the lantern. Now, unfortunately, the thing I'm really worried about is, I know for a fact he's not going to play Kofi Grigus against my Kofi Grigus. He does not want that fight. So he's going to try to weaken me with other things. But at the same time, there's not really too much I can do on a lot of his switch-ins, considering the offensive power they had. So, I will have to sack off Kofi Grigus to the Sceptile. And it looks like he's not running the physical variant, but the special attacking variant. So let's go ahead and go to Braviary. Assuming he will switch, I'm hoping he'll go into Kofi Grigus so I can catch it with the Brave Bird, but he does not. He decides to sack off Articuno instead. I needed to take out this pest anyway, but I would have rather took off Cofagrius first, because I feel like if he did Kofi Grigus and I got rid of it now, I would definitely have a better chance of winning the game. Now I still have to kind of play around and hope I can find a way to catch it without it doing too much damage to the rest of my teammates. And with a lot of them right now being physical attackers, I really have serious problems with him. So I have to find a way to get him to bring Kofi Grigus out early. Unfortunately, at this point, I'm forced to go to Rhyperior because he went back to his electric Pokemon, which I'm pretty sure means Kofi Grigus is coming back. Oh, and speak of the devil, here it is. So it's now clear at this point that he's got me. Being in the Kofi Grigus at this point, he can knock off, he can Will-O-Wisp, and though Will-O-Wisp isn't a big deal, I'm more than positive he'll knock off on something I really don't want him to knock off on. So I have absolutely no choice but to try to fight him with my Rhyperior, which is not the matchup I wanted, Kofi Grigus versus Rhyperior. So now, he not only knocked off my Assault Vest, which made my special defense beast, but he's going to Will-O-Wisp me next turn, I'm sure of it. And there's nothing I can do about it. I'm going to have to let Rhyperior die to be able to have a free switch for something else to take him out that I know I'm going to need for other opponents in this matchup. And that's real unfortunate. Because this point right here and this move right here is definitely what's sealed the game for me. For this happening, I really don't see myself winning from here. And everything was really set up perfectly. He found a really good way to set me up in the corner, and he managed to keep his Kofi Grigus alive. So there's really nothing I can do from here. I'm gonna try to take it out with my Rhyperior. Hopefully I get a crit. But being a physical wall, if I don't crit here, then I'm obviously not killing it. So he's gonna Pain Split, get his leftovers, and stall me out. And that will be it for my Rhyperior. So the real question is now, since I've accepted the fact that clearly my Rhyperior is dead, is what should I switch into from here? I'm thinking, considering the situation, I really have no choice but to go into Braviary since it's Scarf. So let's go ahead and do that. We've got to make it real. We've got to make it real. Now, if I'm lucky, he'll get desperate and want to save the Kofi Grigus at its low health, and I can kill something else off. But no, he's gonna go ahead and keep it in so I can catch that mummy. Luckily for me, my Braviary is not Sheer Force, so he's only taking away Keen Eye, which is no big deal because, well, Keen Eye doesn't really matter much. But now at this point, this is where it ends, because he's going to go into his electric Pokemon. It's a really hard physical attacker, and the only Pokemon I have left is Hitmontop, which I recently wanted to test. And there's no way I can switch into that thing and live. So I'm gonna have to let Braviary die, obviously. And it looks like he's Choice Scarf too. So unfortunately that makes him faster. So there was really no way I could have fixed that up, considering he was Scarfed. So I will fake out with my Hitmontop, and it will hit him for Technician, but he has Mummy on him. So unfortunately now that will be game, because though Hitmontop can possibly kill him, I needed the Technician hit for Sceptile, and I don't have it, so there's no way I can win from here. So I'll go ahead, close combat it for the kill, and then his Sceptile will come in and finish me. Still very close game all in all, so it was pretty interesting. Just kind of wish that I would have did a little more coverage at a few new Pokemon that I obviously wanted to try in this particular battle, but the coverage really sucked and it showed to some extent here. And here's where the Sceptile takes me out. Great game, Sam. It was a good match, and you are an amazing battler. That match went down to the wire, and we'll definitely have to battle again sometime. If you guys like these type of battles, just like, comment, subscribe. If you don't have Twitter, you can let me know in the comment section that you would like a battle. And if you have Twitter, just hit me up on Twitter, be like, hey Retro Bro, I'm looking for a battle. We'll try to establish a time and schedule that works for you, and we'll establish a tier. Also, I will put Sam's Twitter in the description so you can check him out on Twitter. You can go ahead, follow him, ask for battles, and all that good stuff. And as usual, I've been Retro Bro, and I'm signing out.